Good morning students, welcome to today's class. In our previous class we have started with the topic called conservation of plants and animals, and we discussed that what is biodiversity and why we need to worry about biodiversity these days. As we know that we are heading towards to an unprecedented development, means a development which we have never thought of because we want to achieve everything. But we are achieving this on the cost of the nature. As it says that the nature has everything for the man's need but not for man's greed. Means if we want to live a sustainable life, then there is everything which can be provided by the nature, everything. But if we want to achieve more and more, that have to be done on the cost of the exploitation of nature. And the same thing is happening everywhere around us. And the cost is being paid by everyone other than human beings, such as plants and animals. So in this chapter, we are discussing about how plants and animals are affected by human activities and how we can conserve them, because conserving them is very important because they are maintaining the balance of the nature. So in our last class, we also discussed that what are the possible reasons for the loss of biodiversity, and we discussed one of the most important cause, that is deforestation. And in the topic we discussed about the causes and consequences of deforestation. Now we'll move towards more about deforestation, and what I want to discuss today under the topic deforestation is one of the consequences, that is global warming. I know that everyone is acquainted with this term called global warming. What is global warming? We have discussed it number of times, but still I am going to put down the point in case any one of you is missing, that global warming is rise in the temperature of Earth. Now, what is the cause of rise of the temperature? The causes are greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor. And what could be the consequences of global warming? Well, the consequences is very large, but I am going to put some very important points. First of all is rise of temperature, means the average temperature will be more, so there will be long summers and short winters, means you will be facing the average temperature in summer which will be more than what it used to be in the previous year. Then there will be melting of glaciers, and ice. Now what could be the effect of this? Melting of glacier or ice present in the ocean will increase the sea level. The increase in the sea level will affect the level of the ocean, means the level of ocean will increase, leading to the submerging of low-lying areas. मतलब जो समुद्र के आसपास की जगह है, कोस्टल एरियाज हैं, वो पानी में डूब जाएंगी due to melting of the ice present in the ocean. Apart from these, if melting of glacier is happening, then it will lead to excessive floods and then droughts. So these natural calamities will be frequent due to the climate change that is initiated by global warming. Now apart from that, there will be frequent storms and cyclones. This is due to the melting of glacier and ice, due to which the sea level will increase. Increase in the sea level will lead to more cyclones because there will be the change in the pressure of the area. So frequent storm and cyclones will be seen, and there will be imbalance of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So these are some of the points of consequences of global warming. These points are not only the points which is the consequence of global warming, they are much more bad consequence of global warming, but these are some of the points which are enlisting in this topic. Global warming itself has been a great step leading to the loss of biodiversity. How? We are going to discuss that. Now next point will be about other possible causes due to which loss of biodiversity is happening. Now I am going to discuss two more points leading to the loss of biodiversity. One we have already discussed earlier, that was deforestation. Another one is natural calamities. Natural calamities are those occurrences which happens and these occurrences are leading to the loss of life and property. Now what are these natural calamities which are affecting the biodiversity? One of them is earthquake, forest fires, hurricanes, tsunami. All these natural calamities are affecting the plants and animals present in the habitat in which they have been occurring. So these are also taking lives of many plants and animals. For example, forest fires are initiated by natural causes, can take up life of many plants and animals. And apart from that, one more cause we are going to discuss in this topic, that is climate change. Now if you remember, we have discussed about climate change in global warming. How the global warming is leading to climate change. Climate you have studied in your earlier class, which is about the temperature, weather, humidity of a particular area for 25 years that make up the climate of that particular area. For example, the climate of India is mostly warm and humid, and still there are a lot of places having different climate, but warm and humid is the climate of India. But if global warming is increasing day by day, there will be change in this climate. The temperature of the area will become more. For example, your summers will be long, winters will be short, and the average temperature which goes during summers will be higher than what it used to be. So this change in the temperature, this change in the humidity, this change in the rainfall affects the plants and animals in a very large manner. So if there is change in the temperature, change in humidity or change in rainfall, these changes will lead to affect the plants and animals since they are adapted to live in a certain area in a certain temperature. So if there will be change in these points, then the plants and animals will be greatly affected, and they are being affected because of the rise in the temperature due to the less rainfall, due to the less humidity. These plants and animals are unable to adapt into the temperature, plus they are not getting enough water and food to survive. Thus they are losing their life every day. We are not even imagining that how many plants and animals are losing day by day, how many of them are becoming extinct. Now, how we can control this? How we can reduce the effect of these causes which is leading to the loss of biodiversity? We can do that. Since we are the ones who have initiated this process, we are the ones who can control this process. And any small step can be very helpful. How we can do it? Let's discuss that in the next point. Now, I'm going to discuss two more points leading to the loss of biodiversity. One we have already discussed earlier, that was deforestation. Another one is natural calamities. Natural calamities are those occurrences which happens and these occurrences are leading to the loss of life and property. Now what are these natural calamities which are affecting the biodiversity? One of them is earthquake, forest fires, hurricanes, tsunami. All these natural calamities are affecting the plants and animals present in the habitat in which they have been occurring. So these are also taking lives of many plants and animals. For example, forest fires, they are initiated by. Now let's discuss how we can conserve our nature. Conservation of nature. How we can conserve our nature? For example, we have discussed 3 points, that is deforestation, natural calamities and climate change. Let's see what steps we can do to reduce the effect of these problems. Now first of all, for deforestation, the 2 things can be done, that is afforestation and reforestation. I hope you people know what is afforestation, that is planting of the saplings. This afforestation is very much needed. Why it is needed? Because since we are cutting trees at every day basis, these trees are reducing day by day. So to make up these things, we have to plant a sapling every day or at least 1 sapling in a year. Why? Because if there are less trees, there will be less oxygen. As you know that plants are only organisms, whether it is a marine plants or the terrestrial plants, which can generate oxygen. There is no other way by which oxygen can be generated. So if we want to survive in our earth, then we need to plant the saplings or we should do afforestation. Luckily, afforestation has been done by a lot of people. This has been practiced in schools, offices and many organizations. This is the need of the hour. Reforestation we will discuss later on what is reforestation, because there is a separate topic for that. Next point is the principle of R. अगर आपको याद हो, कंजर्वेशन में हमेशा हम आर प्रिंसिपल जरूर पढ़ते हैं, मतलब वो 3 या 4 आर जो हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. लेट्स डिस्कस फ्यू ऑफ देम, लाइक रीयूज, रिड्यूस, recycle. Now we know that every one of us want to live a very happy, content and a much better life. And this happy, content and better life is being due to the different kind of amenities we get in our life. Because of this happy, content and better life is due to all the amenities we want to have in our life. And that is not possible without taking it from the nature. Because nature is supplying all these things to us, which is making our life comfortable. But on what cost? On cost is the spoiling or damaging of nature. So how we can reduce that? By using these 3 R's, that is reuse, reduce, recycle. Reuse means using up all the things around you again and again so that you don't have to buy the new ones. What is the benefit of that? If you are reusing things, then the new things are not made, saving a lot of minerals, saving a lot of resources. Then comes reduce. Try to reduce the waste, try to reduce the use of the things which you think are going to cost the nature. For example, don't try to use the things which are like one-time use. Try to use the things which can be used again and again. Recycle is trying to use the things by again revamping it और दोबारा से उसे बना करके इस्तेमाल करना, तो रिसाइकिल उसमें आ जाता है. ये हमने कई बार डिस्कस किया. मुझे लगता है अगर हम इसके लिए पूरा एक क्लास भी दे दे तो इनफ नहीं होगा. बहुत सारी चीजें इसमें डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. बट फॉर द टॉपिक कंजर्वेशन ऑफ नेचर, these points are enough, that if we try to inculcate reuse, reduce and recycle in our life, much of the problem can be solved. Apart from that, strict laws and regulation. Now when we talk about deforestation, only nature or only plants are not affected. Animals are also greatly affected. From early times when there were less means of communication, people used to go into the forest and they used to kill the animals for their entertainment purpose. And many of people used to even carry the skin or fur of these animals to decorate their homes to show how brave they are. Unfortunately, this is not bravery. Killing the innocent animals is not bravery at all, because we are killing a life which has not done any harm to us. So due to all these things, and these days poaching is done, illegal hunting is done to acquire the body parts of animals. These body parts are sold at very high price, and to get some money for benefit, people are doing this, which is really very wrong. So many of the animals are reducing from the forest. In fact, there are lots of animals in coming future that you are not going to see. They are only reduced to the textbooks. Many of you may have heard about a bird which is called dodo, which is an extinct bird. This dodo was found in abundant, but when Spanish people came and they started eating, they were not able to survive. And what is the result? It is counted as extinct bird nowadays. And much more animals which are going to be included into this list. So it is very important that government, international or the national government should impose strict laws and regulation. Means they should make laws for killing of animals, and these laws should be implemented properly. It is not only to make the law, but implementation is also very important. Poaching and illegal hunting should be curbed so that people are not going to kill animals further on. Apart from that, awareness program should be initiated. Now, not many people know that plants and animals are so important to us. So it is very important to make these people aware that if we are not protecting plants and animals, how we are going to be affected. Because we think that if these plants are there or these animals are there, if इनमें से कुछ मर भी जाए तो हमारा क्या फर्क पड़ता है? It is not like that. These plants and animals are actually maintaining the balance of the nature. So if any of these is becoming extinct, the whole nature can be crumbled. It can also affect the human beings, and we are going to see the consequences in coming days. So awareness programs should be initiated. Apart from these, many activities like overgrazing, cutting trees for fuels also should be restricted, because these is also leading to the deforestation process. So these are some of the ways by which conservation of nature can be done. Apart from that, one more that is very important which we are going to discuss in this class is making of protected areas. What are these protected areas? We are going to discuss in the next topic. Now let's see what else can be done in conservation of nature. Now since nature is being affected so badly, there is international organization which is working for that. That is IUCN. IUCN is International Union for Conservation of Nature. Now what is this union doing? What is this organization doing? This organization is doing multiple things. First of all, it has made a red data book. That is a book which has a compilation of all the plants and animals which are decreasing day by day, and it has been put into categories so that we could know that which species should be protected first and which are free from danger. So they do the survey, they make rules and regulations for protecting of biodiversity and for making protected areas. So in this topic we are going to discuss about protected areas. What are protected areas and how they are important for the cause of conservation of nature. Protected areas are those areas which are natural habitat for the plants and animals. Now, as you know that there are lots of plants and animals which can survive into many places. Like dog is a very common animal and it can survive into any kind of habitat. But there are some animals which cannot survive into every habitat. There are some plants which cannot survive into every habitat. These kind of species are called as endemic species. So what are endemic species? The endemic species are those species which can only live in a particular area. So they are only adapted for a certain habitat. They cannot survive if they are taken out from that habitat. So they are more vulnerable to the loss of life if anything happens in their habitat. So these species need to be protected. Those species which can survive into any situation are having less danger, but endemic species are more vulnerable towards losing their life. More vulnerable. So they need to be protected. So these areas in which they are living are made protected areas. We have three different types of protected areas such as biosphere reserves, national parks, and wildlife sanctuaries. The objective of all these three protected areas is to protect the wildlife of these places. Plus, if there are any tribal people living over there, protection of that also is very important, and to conserve the nature of these places. So there are certain places which are made into protected areas. Now we know that India comes in the region of mega biodiversity zone. Means there are lots of plants and animals, number of species of plants and animals which are found in these areas. Hence, it needs protection from any kind of extinction if they are facing. So many places are converted into protected areas, either biosphere reserve, wildlife sanctuaries or national parks. Biosphere reserves are the areas in which all the components of living is found. So these areas are included into protected areas. So that is the aim of IUCN. IUCN make protected areas, do survey and forms red data book so that conservation of nature can be done. So let's see what are the roles of IUCN. Before we move to the explanation of protected areas, survey of living organisms, formation of protected areas, making rules, and compilation of red data book. What is this red data book? I will discuss before I start with the explanation of protected